Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello, lovely to see all your smiling, waving faces. How are you doing today? I'm down in London at the moment and it's a beautiful sunny day here. Let me know where you are from, where you're tuning in from around the world. And I always like to say a few hellos straight away. And I always say this, but particularly because such a key part of Findhorn is that it is a global community. Even back in the late 50s and the 60s, when the original founders landed in this space in northeast Scotland, right, almost it feels, if you kind of ever come and visit, a bit like the edge of nowhere. It's very almost Icelandic. We're so far north. We've got white sandy beaches, pine forests, and not many people, more sheep than people, probably. Um, but yet, people around the world got wind of Findhorn and started to visit intuitives, as Peter called them. It's always been an international community. And so it's really lovely that this global community online is able to keep that going. Let's see who we've got. Hi, Sheila. Sheila's in South Lanarkshire. Hi, good morning, Maureen. Maureen's in Australia. Siobhan's in Sturchley, Birmingham. That's a bit closer to home. Hi, Regis. Regis is in Switzerland. Hi, Elena, saying ciao from Genova, Italy. Hemo's in the Netherlands. Paz is in Aix-les-Bains. How beautiful. Is that Provence? That's where I was for my birthday. Hi, Marika in the Netherlands. I've got Jane in Surrey, Paula in the Netherlands, Jonty and Joe from beautiful Auvergne. Lovely. David in Newton Abbot, South Devon. Tineka, have I said that right? From Arbuthnot. Lovely. Bezo from Oslo. Lena from Sweden. Charles, is that Charles? From the Cotswolds, beautiful. And Mimi in Cambridgeshire. Janet in Dorset, lovely. Some really beautiful parts of the UK coming up. Carla in Lisbon, Ian in Glasgow. Esther in Amsterdam. Welcome, welcome. I'll try and do a few more hellos at the end as well. And if you are new to me, hello, I'm Dominique and I'm holding the meditation for today. Findhorn is a non-denominational spiritual community, so we all bring our own religions and spiritual paths, whatever they may be, to this place, and we abide by the principles, the living principles and practices of what it means to be part of the Findhorn community, which you can join in with wherever you are around the world. The first one is inner listening. So, at a time in Britain, certainly, where not many people had heard of meditation, Eileen talked about going within to hear the voice of God, going into this deep space of silence, which is something that so many of the mystics talk about across spiritual traditions. And from this silence, hearing the truth that rises up from that place, the voice of the soul. Yeah. I always say that, there are so many different meditation practices out there. I trained as a spiritual teacher at a spiritual school called Hridaya, which has centers in Mexico and France. And Hridaya means the spiritual heart in Sanskrit. So when we teach meditation, hold meditation retreats, or teach hatha yoga as well, which is part of the practice, we're referencing different traditions that all talk about this wisdom of the portal of the heart. It seems that saints and mystics across different religions and traditions understood that the heart was this gateway into reaching, into hearing the divine voice of the soul. The early Christian fathers of the desert called it the nous, or the Nous, nous, I'm not even sure how it's pronounced, this wisdom and knowing that bubbles up. So rather than forcing a practice or a technique to help us either escape reality, which is not what meditation is, or to transcend something, we're using this practice to become silent and still and hear this very still voice of the wise soul, the spiritual heart within. Peter, Eileen's partner, was all about love in action. And that's again a principle and a practice that you see talked about and encouraged across spiritual traditions. In yoga, it's called seva. sacred service, or the branch of yoga called karma yoga, where we start to live and do our work on this planet, not for our own egoic benefit, but for a greater good, for the glory of good, for the love of it, for the beauty of it. And we're giving something back to the world. And it's this path of service is such a powerful path in itself. The Tibetan Buddhists, I think particularly in Buddhism, again, talk about this act of service, being of service as a spiritual path in its own right. And Dorothy was an amazing woman. She was Peter and Eileen's friend, and she was Canadian. She worked in the Second World War for the Secret Service. She was extraordinary. She had a deep connection to nature. So, what she brought to spiritual practice was this communicating with the subtle realms and the different beings across the planet. So, almost very shamanic, I think, very similar, if not the same, as what you get taught by shamans from different indigenous cultures, this connection to the web of life, to the planet, to the life of being of all things, because as humans, we're not separate to nature, we're part of it. Okay, so co-creating with the intelligence of nature. So I invite you to join us in living by those principles. All right, that's my little talk for this morning. So what I'm going to do now is guide us into meditation, and then when you're in a comfortable place, I'll read Eileen Caddy's reading for today. Eileen Caddy, one of the original founders, an incredible mystic in her own right, and it's this little book here, Opening Doors Within, 365 Daily Meditations from Findhorn, where you've got a little chunk of her wisdom divided into every day of the year. So it's a great spiritual practice in its own right, or contemplation for meditation. I'll read that, and then we'll go into the silence, into meditation for 15 or 20 minutes. All right. So I invite you to find a comfortable sitting position. You can roll your shoulders back, neck nice and long, chin parallel to the floor. Keep your feet flat on the earth if you can, or of course, if you've got your legs crossed under you, that's fine too. You can place your palms facing upwards in the lap by your side, resting the back of your right hand in the palm of your left hand, touching the thumb tips together like that, if you can see that. It's a mudra, a sacred hand gesture that helps direct the energy flow of meditation. And in your own time, if you're somewhere safe to do so, I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes. Just take a nice longer breath in here. Letting go of any contraction, any tension in the face, the shoulders, the neck. Relaxing the body. Allowing the breathing cycles to soften and lengthen. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Again, feeling any tension, any stress melt away. Another deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Letting any thoughts, any worries, any mental energy drift away. One more deep breath, filling the belly up first. In through the nose, drawing the air up into the lungs. Slight pause at the top of the breath and then exhaling through the nose. And this time, as you're at the bottom of the breath, just allow the breathing to fill up naturally. And the breathing cycles just to soften and lengthen gently in and out through the nose. You can forget all about your breath now. Just let it run underneath you like a cool stream. And as we slow our breathing down, our mind naturally quietens down. You'll get to a place in meditation eventually where you realize you don't notice the breath. It's almost imperceptible because the sense of presence and aliveness is the experience. And the breath, very gentle, very shallow often in deep meditation, just coming as and when it's needed. But it helps in these early stages to breathe a bit deeper, to quieten the mind and the body. Paying any attention to the noises outside that you can hear. Allowing your hearing and your senses to travel outwards to them and notice them. And when they've been acknowledged, gradually drawing them back in. Drawing your senses inwards, and so you become present behind the eyes, more aware of your inner being than what's going on outside. Feel the spine supporting you, and the mind emptying out now, transparent, clear, blue like the sky. Body stable and firm like a mountain. Let's bring our awareness to the heart space, middle of the chest, a little to the right, the home of the spiritual heart. Just notice what's alive for you today here. Maybe it's a sense of peace and warmth. Maybe there's sadness, numbness. Maybe you can't feel anything. It's okay. It's all okay. We always have access to this space, this sanctuary of the heart. A place of generative love and power. Portal of divine inspiration. Taking a moment to rest in the heart now while I read the reading for today. This is Eileen Caddy's guidance for today, June the 2nd. You can do all things when your faith and trust are in me, and you have no doubts and fears to hold you back. There is nothing you cannot do, nothing you cannot accomplish in this life when your attitude and outlook are right and you have complete confidence in your ability to do it. You have within you all power, all wisdom, all strength, all intelligence, and all understanding. It is I working in and through you who enables you to accomplish the seemingly impossible. Never be afraid to aim high. Never be afraid to expect the impossible to become possible. Do not live within your limits. Live way beyond yourself, and therefore give me the opportunity to show you how all things are possible with me. If you do not give me the opportunity, how can you expect to know what can be accomplished when I am in contact and am guiding and directing your life? Let go and let me take over and see what happens. Allowing these words to carry us deeper and deeper still into the silence of the heart. If thoughts arise that trouble you, feelings, physical sensations, simply notice them and just let them go, returning again and again to this deep presence of the heart, this place of peace and aliveness within, this I am feeling. Who am I beyond the thoughts, the feelings, the physical sensations passing through the body? This I am essence, the essence of us that looked out through our eyes when we were a little child, and that same being that looks out through our eyes as we get old. Pure presence. Let's stay in this space a moment longer, and I'll read the guidance again. You can do all things when your faith and trust are in me, and you have no doubts and fears to hold back. There's nothing you cannot do, nothing you cannot accomplish in this life when your attitude and outlook are right, and you have complete confidence in your ability to do it. You have within you all power, all wisdom, all strength, all intelligence, and all understanding. It is I, working in and through you, who enables you to accomplish the seemingly impossible. Never be afraid to aim high. Never be afraid to expect the impossible to become possible. Do not live within your limits. Live way beyond yourself, and therefore give me the opportunity to show you how all things are possible with me. If you do not give me the opportunity, how can you expect to know what can be accomplished when I am in contact and am guiding and directing your life? Let go and let me take over and see what happens. So, taking a final moment here, let's fill up our hearts with gratitude, a feeling of deep appreciation. Appreciation, gratitude, thank you, thank you, thank you to Eileen and all of the spiritual teachers, your masters, saints, mystics, religions that have passed down the wisdom of love and truth to us. Let's fill up with gratitude and appreciation for each other. Thank you, thank you, thank you for amplifying this group field today, for coming together, all of us, to deepen and put the first things first and raise our consciousness together in light. Thank you. And fill up with a bubble of gratitude for ourselves, allowing it to wash over us like a warm hug. We found this path in this lifetime. What a blessing to have found these teachings, to have found wisdom, truth, discernment in this lifetime. And we're taking the time to practice as well. So sensing into the sacred vibration of the day and what it holds for you. Welcome back, everyone. Beautiful to see you all. Let me just change this. I think I disappeared. Okay. Thank you for joining me. You're so welcome, everyone. It's always a privilege and a blessing. Wishing you a wonderful week.